Hello, everyone, and welcome to this LinkedIn Live. My name's Catherine, and I'm the Content and Community Manager for the Business of Data team here at Crinium. Now, before we get going, a huge, big, happy Thanksgiving to all of our US colleagues and friends and family. We hope you're having the most amazing day. Now, as you know, as part of our Business of Data podcast, we intend to live stream each episode ahead of hosting it over on our Business of Data platform and all of the wonderful podcast providers that you'll be able to find this episode on, including Apple, Google, and Spotify as well. We would love to hear your thoughts, comments, and questions. So please feel free to share those in the comment section. And do remember, if you would like to appear as a guest on our podcast, please do reach out to me and the team. We'd love to hear from you. Now, with all of that said and done, let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome to the Business of Data podcast. I'm your host, Catherine King, and it's a pleasure to have you join us today. In this series, we'll be speaking to senior data analytics leaders to share their experiences, challenges, and insights. Let's go ahead and dive straight into today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Business of Data podcast. This week, we're going to be talking all about customer-centric data strategies and cloud computing, specifically overcoming the challenges of aligning data strategies with end user experience and needs. Now, to do that, I have brought in the lovely Meena Thanikachalam, who is the head of data architecture for Ally. Now, for those of you who perhaps aren't as familiar with Mina, she has worked in a number of well-known enterprises, including the Hartford, Ingersoll Rand, and Accenture. Mina is the head of data architecture for Ally, as I mentioned, which is a financial service company. Now, Ally's legacy dates back to 1919, and the company had a redesign in 2009 with a distinctive brand, innovative approach, and relentless focus on its customers, as well as encompassing a commitment to spark social change. Mina leads a number of mission statements, one of those being to unleash the power of data by architecting for the future, growth delivering world-class solutions to enable their brand's initiatives. Wow, absolutely exciting. Lovely to have you on, Mina. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Catherine. Thank you. Thanks for having me today. A pleasure to talk to you.
From chatting with you before, Mina, I know you're really passionate about encouraging more women into the field of data architecture and engineering. Would you tell me a bit more about what drives this passion for you?
Diverse teams would outperform than teams that doesn't have diverse team members. And diversity is very crucial for any organization to be successful. There's a lot of talented women who are pursuing other careers. And I would like to bring more women into technology, especially data architecture and data engineering. And I want to motivate young women to pursue career, and that's been my interest for the last few years. So I'm trying to see if I can bring more women in this field, because they've got a lot of talent and we have to utilize the talent in the right way. And I am very passionate about bringing more women.
Fantastic. It's going to be something I want to pick your brains on a little bit further in this podcast episode. For now, let's dive into the main conversation here. Now, Ally is an award-winning online bank, and recently you've been working on architecting a cloud data platform within the company, which is designed with customers in mind. Would you explain a bit more about this initiative for me, please?
Ally is a leading digital financial services company. Doing it right for a customer has been our primary focus. So we are building a world-class data platform that would help improve our customer experience and also help deepen our customer relationship and increase customer loyalty. So keeping customer in mind, we have identified key use cases, and we are building a world-class data platform. This platform is also looking at integrating omni-channel data and also stitching data that we collected about our customers, customer preferences. Based on that, we would provide a targeted, personalized experience for them. Scalability, reliability, performance efficiency, operational excellence, cost optimization. These are some of the core elements that has been considered as architecture guiding principles. And we have designed in such a way this platform is going to be the world-class data platform for future.
Fantastic. Now, in your opinion, Meena, what are the barriers in the way of many executives linking their data strategy to the end user experience?
Data strategy primarily helps an organization to solve business problems in a structured and methodical manner. Data strategy would look at what are my business problems and how can I make use of my data and help my customers improve their experience. And also, data strategy is very foundational for any organization to invest in. The primary thing that anyone can look at when they are looking at customers' experience or end users' experience is to ensure that they have basic foundational capabilities that they lay out as part of the data strategy. For example, bringing in the right quality data, making sure you have right lineage. So apart from all of the basic foundational capabilities, also having a customer 360 is very helpful, and that's one of the foundational capability to be considered as part of the strategy. And also knowing what the customer wants, when the customer needs, and what are some of the critical metrics that one should look at to influence a customer. It's all are very crucial for a data strategy to be successful to cater to the needs of an end user. So I think we should go back from customers' experience. What are their problems? How can we solve? And how use of data to solve the problems? What technology is going to be helpful to solve the problems? So that's how a data strategy should be built, aligning to end users' experience. And plus, investing in some foundational capabilities is very inherent to be successful.
Brilliant. Now, you joined Ally in August 2019, which is just over a year in the role. What would you say has been your main focus, and what continues to be your main focus for yourself?
I started over a year ago, as you stated, and this has been a great experience working for Ally. We have a great technology leadership. Working under that leadership has given a lot of opportunities for me. And specifically in the data architecture organization, we have some core guiding principles that we are trying to adhere to and make sure the enterprise is adopting those guiding principles. For example, like we are moving towards cloud. That's one of the guiding principles that we are ensuring that we would stick to. The second thing is making sure that we bring data near real time wherever possible, making sure that we simplify our data ecosystem is another primary focus, I would say. And also democratize analytics and be able to serve our users is another primary focus for my organization. And also deriving meaningful insights out of the data and monetizing the data has been a primary focus. So these are some of the areas where myself and my team have been focusing on, but there is a lot of other exciting things we have done, and we will get to talk about it.
Brilliant. And I do think when it comes to my podcast and other content, I feel like a little bell needs to go off every time I say COVID, because it just seems such a common word that I say in all of our content nowadays, but obviously it's absolutely impacting every element of our life from professional to personal. So I always like to include it as a question. So what I'd love to know from you is, how has COVID impacted data organizations within the financial service industry? What have you seen happen?
So COVID has brought in major disruption to financial services industry. Many financial services organizations are looking at providing short-term relief to customers so their financial well-being can be improved. Especially businesses are using data and analytics to make key vital decisions for their enterprise. Predictive analytics has been utilized in many organizations to predict delinquency risks, accounts receivables. So, and also using the analysis or results out of these analytics, they take that results and proactively engage with the customers
Mm-hmm.
to come up with some alternate arrangements, possibly deferring a loan payment or coming up with alternate options to help customers. So that has been one of the relevant trends that we can see. And apart from that, the trend that I am seeing predominantly is to shift to digital, be it online or mobile banking.
Yeah.
Because customers don't want to do physical banking anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the trend is to go digital and move towards online and mobile banking completely.
Yeah, I think that trend was always going to happen. I think we were already on the road to digital, but I think what COVID done, so quickly for so many companies and industries, just push you further down that road. That actually, like I say, we were trucking ahead towards digital, but suddenly, going into a bank is not a positive experience for everyone anymore. Handling money, touching, and being around all of these things is not something that something we're trying to avoid actively at the moment. So that makes sense. I think it's interesting to see how lots of different places and organizations have responded to such a dramatic shift. I think those who were perhaps like yourself already on that digital journey and probably quite a bit further down that road than some of your competitors and others, having to really stand up digital things pretty much overnight. I think that's a really interesting area. Now, as I said just now, that kind of 360 view of the customer is something every organization is striving towards. And I think it's fair to say that we're moving more towards a consumer experience-based economy rather than a previously seen product-based economy. I think that's just the way it is. What trends have you seen within the financial service to adapt to this way of consumer behavior, Mina?
So we touched upon it in your previous question. So I see that financial services organizations are building products to suit to customer needs or consumer needs that could give them short-term relief, like, for example, deferral loan payment, or giving some concession to customers who have been with the organization for longer, who have had a relationship with the bank or the financial services organization for a longer period of time. So it's very evident that we are moving from a product-based economy to a consumer-based economy with the COVID. And it's very positive that many organizations are thinking about the customers in mind and also offering them viable options so that their financial well-being can be there.
I think it's worth saying that, when we're talking about different industries, dealing with customer experience during these sorts of times means a very different thing. I mean, so many people are going to be falling into financial worry or stress during this time. So actually, customer experience is more than just, having a positive experience. It's actually making sure that it's as least stressful as it can be as well. And, these are the sorts of things that can be remembered for months and years to come as to when people were in their most stressed and how a company then reacted to it as well. So I think that's interesting to continue watching and seeing how companies handle that as well. Now, I'm keen, we kind of touched on it previously, but I'd love to explore it a bit further as to what role AI and advanced analytics plays in improving on that customer experience. I think very often they go hand in hand, but as we've hinted towards, many organizations are in different positions along that journey. So what are some of the industry trends that you're seeing currently?
Yeah, there's a branch within AI called cognitive computing, which strives at having human-like interactions with customers. Like in banking, specifically, cognitive computing is used predominantly to have human-like conversations. Mm-hmm. So customers can do most of their work by themselves without having any dependency on agents, or they don't need to call an agent to get their work done.
Yeah.
Example, if they're applying for a loan, they could do it at this virtual assistants available, and that could be deployed. There could be chatbots, or there could be a variety of other options that organization could leverage. So that's one area where I see AI is penetrating a lot. Another trend I would say is conversational AI. So for example, if you're talking to a customer, you can use the voice. Based on that, you can do some analysis on the sentiments and be able to provide the right recommendations to the customer based on what they prefer. So that's another area where AI has helped tremendously. So taking the voice, converting that to converting that and parsing to text and running some algorithms to derive sentiments. Based on that, you can certainly offer the right product to the customer, or right service to the customer.
Yeah. And I know there's often that worry that, robots are taking over the world is what came to mind, but robots are replacing people's jobs. But actually, I think what you've touched on there, especially with kind of converting voice to text and then running some tests through that, is actually it's taking very manual, mundane work away from people so that actually they have time to analyze this fantastic data, really look into it and then action upon it, rather than take away, their job. They're actually enabling them to explore more interesting things that actually have a far better use of a human, as it were. So I think that's really interesting. So should we have a bit of a chit chat about the future, which I always feel like I should pull out a crystal ball for this, because I think the future is as uncertain as it has ever been. But I'm still going to ask these questions because I'd love to pick your brains on them. Looking to the future, what kinds of innovation investment in cloud computing technologies do you expect to see in the financial service sector, say for the next 1 to 3 years?
So definitely cloud computing has brought in a lot of capabilities that could be leveraged in any industry. Specifically, data and analytics has seen a lot with cloud computing, especially in the space of machine learning. So let's say you're doing machine learning, you're needing the compute capabilities. It's very easy to pin up the capabilities or the compute power that you need within few seconds. Whereas in traditional world, I think you have to order for servers, wait on it, be it a storage or any additional compute capabilities that you need. So scaling up and scaling down is always a beneficial option. And also you pay per the usage. You don't need to pay upfront. So that's tangible benefit that anyone could leverage. The third thing I would say is if you're running machine learning type algorithms, sometimes you might need GPU type instances, which is readily available. And then like sometimes if the model is generating a huge volume or a huge output, you don't need to worry about storage or finding a space. So you can just get the data as is and then you can upload it. So within a few seconds, it's all taken care of. So there's a lot of benefit when it comes to infrastructure, and cloud computing has given a path to all the industries to make use of infrastructure readily available. Plus this variety of services available, be it as AWS, Azure or Google Cloud. There's variety of services available that could be spin up in few seconds. And I would say cloud computing has made the life of a data scientist or a data analyst or a BI user very easy, and it's very flexible and easy to use. I think it's great that we are in this era of like cloud computing.
So what I love about that answer, Mina, is it's so positive, because very often we hear many negatives when it comes to the cloud. And actually, I'd like to put this question to you as well, that many executives who perhaps don't sit within the data teams, but they kind of have some influence over, which is the biggest one that I hear fairly regularly, is the security of cloud. What's your comments on that for someone that's worried about the security?
So I think there are security protocol that anyone can follow, but I'm going to talk about in the context of data. Data at rest, data in motion, data in use. So you need to have appropriate protocol to handle and manage data that is transferred over the network. So that is the first thing. The second thing is to keep the data encrypted, and most of the cloud providers have secure way to secure your data, methods to secure your data, so no one can get access. And as part of your infrastructure organization, there should be where you will be blacklisting some IP address, and from those IP address, no one should be able to access your data that you have secured. Predominantly, everyone deals with personally identifiable information like name, social security number, what have you. So there are techniques like masking, tokenization that anyone could leverage. the variety of technologies available to secure data. And these are some of the options anyone could utilize to secure the data. And apart from that, it's very important to take inventory of who has access to what data and whether they have the right access. Access control is another way to restrict access to sensitive elements. So overall, I think if we follow the right protocol across these three areas, I don't think there should be any security concerns or challenges.
Yeah. So like you say, it's about setting it in black and white and saying these are the rules for the data, this is who's going to have access to it, and then almost setting their minds at ease, the executives who are perhaps a little bit worried about transforming over to the cloud, and actually saying, you have legitimate concerns. I think it's fair enough to be worried about data security. I think it's a very positive thing, in fact. But actually, some of these things that we hear in the media, obviously, I mean, so much of what we've spoken about today, you can Google and find the most horrific AI bias stories, cloud stories, and stuff like that. But actually, it's about, looking at the majority, and actually the fact that there are methods out there to be as secure and as safe as possible. Now, Meena, at the beginning of our conversation, I mentioned that you are very passionate about welcoming more women and other voices into the data analytics space. What would be your top advice for women looking at getting involved in data architecture in the future?
The role of an architect is influencing on also selling and also negotiating and also working with everyone in the enterprise, providing ideas, recommendations, and solving problems. So it's not like a role that would work independently by itself. Like, this role is meant to collaborate with everyone. Most importantly, provide recommendations and be able to justify why the recommendation, why the solution. So influencing is very critical for this role, and I would encourage women to hone these skills. And apart from that, I would say women should never give up. Be consistent always and constantly chase your dream. So that's more important to be successful in any role.
Absolutely. And I think what's so positive, Meena, is that you are yourself a head of data architecture. And I think that's fantastic to see a woman in this position, because there will be lots of people growing up and looking at which uni courses to do and college courses to do, and actually seeing people like yourself on the Pod talking about these things is an inspiration in itself. And it's something that we're looking at doing more of in the business of data in content, is making sure that all voices are included, so that, not only are we encouraging people with our words, but with our actions as well. So I'd like to thank you for joining us on this episode, because I think you are actively encouraging women to join in. So thank you so much. But last question I want to put to you before we wrap up today is, what's the number one piece of advice you would give to other financial service data leaders who are trying to align their data strategies with their end user needs?
So understanding what the customer needs when they need is very critical for anybody to be driving a strategy. Data strategy specifically should look at what data do I need, what are some of the key metrics that I need to influence on my customers, what sort of personalized recommendations I can provide my customers so I can improve customer experience and also increase customer loyalty. So that should be the focus of any data leader in order to successfully use data strategy and ensure it's aligning with the end user experience.
Fantastic. And on that bombshell, that is all the time we have today. Meena, it's been fantastic chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope I'll get to catch up with you real soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Catherine. It's a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye. What a brilliant conversation there with Meena. What I absolutely love, and my biggest takeaway from that conversation, is how customer centricity and technological advancements are absolutely interlinked together. You can't have one without the other in terms of having great success in what is a very turbulent time at the moment. As always, make sure you're following our social page so that you can like, share and comment and engage with your fellow thought leaders. And do make sure, if you're not already, that you're subscribed to the Business of Data platform so that you're first in line for our thought leading content and insights, as well as things that people who aren't subscribed just won't get to see, like our weekly newsletter. For now, stay safe, look after yourself, and I'll see you real soon.